Hello friends, welcome to another video. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how I created this little mini album. First I'll do a quick flip through and then I will show you how to put together the base. Stay tuned. Just in case you're wondering, this mini album is put together with this A Perfect Christmas Echo Park paper collection. It's by Lori Whitlock. Last time I looked at this on Amazon, it was like $9, so I will link that below in case you want to check it out a little closer. But you will see all of the parts throughout this little mini album. This mini album is kind of designed so that it can feature some of the 4x6 horizontal cut-aparts that are in some of our favorite paper collections right now. I just matted the front and put a few stickers on it. Here is the side and the back. So for this, I used 10 pieces of cardstock and then the collection kit. I happened to do some matting in an alternate color, but you can see here that the design or the look is pretty simple, but it also has some fun interactive elements with some fold outs. You could potentially do a fold out on both sides to give a little different look, but I put 3 fold outs throughout this book. You can see I used some of the stickers here for decoration. When I had the smaller cut-aparts that had room for journaling, I tried to put them inside. I know some of us don't really love the way that our handwriting looks, but we want to make some notes. So I figured that could cover that up a little bit. And then, again, I only put 3 of those in. I thought this was a little fun. It's different. It's also crooked, but it is a cut-apart sheet of gift tags. So I just cut a section of that to put in. And then one more fold out. I do have some larger stickers in here, so I figured that on those pages, smaller photos could be featured. And then also on these larger ones, if someone could definitely put a 4x6 photo here, and it would already be matted and look great, even if they want to cover up some of the fun designer paper. So let me show you how I did it. I realized after making this video that you can cut across 5 sheets and get the sheets that you need for this book rather than using 10 sheets and cutting long ways. You are going to need 10 pieces of cardstock. I'm using 110-pound Neenah Exact Index. I have this linked below. It is my preference because of the price point when I need a sturdier cardstock that's not cover stock. So, like I said, you're going to need 10 of these. We are going to cut them down and score them. So what I did is first I cut all 10 pieces of cardstock down lengthwise, and this is 4 1/2. So I went ahead and cut all 10 sheets down to 4 1/2, and then I'm going to make some adjustments, and each of these adjustments is 2 sheets. So these first 2 sheets I'm gonna cut down to 8 1/2 inches. The next 2 sheets, I'm going to cut down to 8 inches. The next 2 are 7 1/2. The next 2 are 7. And then these last 2 are 6 3/4. And so every single one of these sheets is going to be scored at 6 1/2. So these smallest ones, the 6 3/4, are going to have a 1/4 inch flap after you score and fold it. Same thing for all the rest of them. Score them at 6 1/2. All right, so for each pair that are the same height and width, we are going to score them and glue them together. We're going to fold them and glue them together. So I'm going to glue these 2 tabs together. They are going to overlap, and we are going to fit our paper just right up against the score line inside. We don't want it to go over, or it's not going to bend, or it's going to get some resistance when it bends. And as I line them up, I like to set them on the table. That way I know that they're flush at the bottom and even. Burnish a little bit. Set this one aside. Now we want to take our next pair. Make sure that they are the same size with the same, with the score marks. So now we're going to take our next pair. We're going to burnish those and do the same thing. Just make sure you're working with the same size paper. So each of your paper has a pair, and you want those 2 to be glued together. Your flaps should always be the same size. You may see where this is going, but we're going to take each of the pages that we glued together, and we are going to stack them inside each other and create our book. So basically we're just going to eyeball, and we want each one to be mostly centered inside the gusset of the next. So I'm just going to start from the middle. So this would be the middle of the book. I'm going to put glue on either side, and I'm going to try to eyeball centering it in between these two score lines. So if you don't want to add any of the interactive flaps here, then the base of your book is done. All you have to do is cut down some mats at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then your designer paper at 4 by 6, and there are essentially 20 pages. You have your front cover, back cover, and then 18 pages to work with. So for your flaps, you're going to need some cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. In my original book, I did 3 flaps, so but you can do as many as you like, and you can definitely use some of the leftover cardstock that you have from making your base. So here's 3 3/4 and 4 1/2, and one more. And the thing about the flaps is that you want to put them in before you start layering your mats and designer paper. So we have the 4.5 side, which is the same height as our book. We want this to fit 3x4 cut aparts and include a mat. So what we're going to do is take our 3 3/4 side and we're just going to score it at 3.5. That's going to give us a small tab. And we are just going to miter that tab a little bit. And so you're doing this for as many as you want in your book. When I miter, I usually try to start from that inside corner just next to it, so I know that I don't cut into the flap. So right next to that score mark, just cut a little piece, and you're just removing some of the bulk and giving it a better finished look for when it is glued into your book. Then you decide which page or pages you want your flaps, and you just glue down this flap and it will be covered once you mat everything. So let me show you what it looks like in the final book. Here's my flap. You can see here, there's that little miter piece. I just glued it on. You can glue it to the front or back, it doesn't matter. And then you put your layers in, and you can't even really tell that it's an extra piece unless you look for the workings here and try to figure out how it's put together. So, and then you do as many flaps as you like. And then for the layers of plain cardstock, you're going to use pieces that are 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. I used black and I cut 20 of those, excuse me. And then from the designer paper, I cut 20 that were 6 by 4, which allowed me to use some of the cut aparts as my pages. And here again. And then you just go ahead and decorate it. I put, of course, quite a few stickers on the front. For the side is 2 inches by 4.5. So you want your black cardstock or your colored cardstock to be 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then your designer piece for this end would be 1 1/2 by 4. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget that liking and subscribing to my channel and making comments helps my channel grow and helps bring my ideas to more crafters. Thank you all for your support. Have a great day.